ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೈಡಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದುಟ್ರಾ?
ಅದೇ ಈಗ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಸರಿ ಸರಿ, ಓಕೆ.
ಹಲೋ,
ಹಾಂ ಪ್ರತಾಪ್.
NCC ಆಫೀಸರ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
ಹಾಂ ಶೋರ್, ರೆಡಿ ರೆಡಿ.
டொமினிக் சார்
பிரதாப் சார் சொல்லுங்க
ஸ்டார்ட் 57
சார். ரெடியா இருக்கேன் சார்.
டொமினிக் சார்.
பிரதாப் சார் ரெடியா இருக்கு சார்.
சரி சார், ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம் சார்.
எஸ் சார்.
டொமினிக் சார்.
பிரதாப் நான் தான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுமா?
ஆமா சார்.
எஸ் சார்.
நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிருங்க, அது அப்படியே கண்டினியூ பண்ணிருங்க.
ஓகே சார். A very good morning to one and all present here for this national webinar on New Education Policy 2020, organized by CSICE College of Engineering, Kethi, the Nilgiris. And today our chief guest, Professor L. Gandhi, MA, MBA, MPhil, UGC NET, Assistant Professor, OB, HRM, and Chairperson, PGDM Admissions. Now I introduce Professor L. Gandhi. He holds post-graduation degrees in business administration and cooperative management. And it's very important, he's a gold medalist in his PG degree with the MPhil degree in management. He is also qualified in NET conducted by UGC, and currently he is pursuing his PhD. He has 15 years of PG management teaching experience with B schools, including ICFAI University. He has written over 20 research papers and published in reviewed journals, including ABDC listed journals. He has authored a book, Performance Management and Reward Systems, for his career. He has also attended many faculty development workshops in leading management institutes like IIM Calcutta, IIM Kozhikode, and IIM Trichy. He also teaches at British University in Dubai. Till date, conducted training sessions to over 250 medicals, IT professionals, and government officials. And he has published plenty of journals in national and internationals. Currently, he has held for the positions Head Department of MBA, SIMS Coimbatore, Assistant Professor, KPRSB Coimbatore, Assistant Professor, GIM Coimbatore, and faculty member of ICFAI Hyderabad. I welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. So, thank you so much for the nice introduction, Mr. Dominic Xavier. And I firstly thank CSI College of Engineering for inviting me to this. It's very kind of unique and interesting and very rewarding for me. When I say it is rewarding for me, I'm a person born and raised in the very same place. It's been 15 years in my career of teaching management students, started from Hyderabad and to gone to different places, but never had a chance to speak to students of my own place. I was born and brought up in the very own place called Soregundu Keti. It gives me immense pleasure. It gives me immense rewarding feeling also to meet and discuss with people who are associated with CSI College of Engineering. So I thank my friend Pratap for inviting me to this gathering. And this topic is actually an interesting and important topic for all of us. This new education policy 2020 was approved by Parliament, and people are now debating, discussing, and deliberating on the nuances and nitty-gritties of this topic. And how I have divided this topic for this next 50-55 minutes. Firstly, I'll just give the overview about this topic, especially on making people understand on what Prime Minister thought about this policy. Taking it forward, I'll discuss on the impact on school education, and the last part will be impact on higher education. And overall, it is an excellent scheme, excellent policy devised by Government of India. And I am privileged to present this topic to all of you who are gathered here. Well, what our Prime Minister said on this topic, we all should be interested to know what Prime Minister is thinking and thought about this. He says this National Education Policy 2020, this contributes to an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. So how, when we ask this question, how this is going to achieve this? And when you learn, you get the wisdom to question. So this art of questioning or the power of questioning is very important for all of us. And what our Prime Minister feels that if we learn, we will get the wisdom, we'll get the required knowledge to question. So what is this questioning? When we question, it's very simple. When we question, you get out of the box method to solve problems. This is the need of the hour, ladies and gentlemen. If I have to tell you in plain terms, we'll have to think out of the box. If you take the education system in India right from the Lord Macaulay's period, we are all trained and educated to be officers and clerks for the offices. Therefore, we were constrained to think out of the box. Now this new education policy is trying to give as many chances, ample chances possible to, think out of the box. Let us try to think out of the box. The third point, what Prime Minister says to all of us, when you do that, you grow. When you grow, the nation grows and the planet associated with that prospers. Therefore, friends, quote unquote, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, India's national education policy reflects these spirits, and we are shifting from simply memorizing to critical thinking. Very important point, all of you, because so far the education system has been concentrating on memorizing. So what we do, what we did all these days, we all, pick up the books, read them, memorize them, go to the examination halls, write the exams, and we don't know the application parts. How many of us have really used this? Later, we really don't know. But what we felt and how we felt happy, we felt happy seeing the marks, seeing the scores on the mark cards. But what they are trying to do now, instead of making it process centric, they are trying to make it people centric and future centric for all of us through this new education policy. Well, he also said the principle of new education or principle of this new age learning is going to engage, explore, experience, express, and excel. 5 E's, he says. This is again from Prime Minister's message on the new education policy. He feels students should be engaged. Engaged is not like teacher speaks and student listens. That is not engagement. Teachers must give a lot of activities. Teachers must give a lot of experiments. Teachers must take them to field visits. Teachers must take them to laboratories. So you have to engage people and explore on their own. They have to explore, dig out the information, going to different sources. Experience, express, and excel. Experience is their own and others' experience also. Express is about something you learn, but end of the day, if you don't know how to express it, and there is no point in learning. So expression is about communication. So communication is about how we make people understand on the points that we know, that we learn. And finally, excel. Excel is about, excelling in the field where, we have really learned about. Well, this is students should engage in activities. They should explore it accordingly. And the experience has to be there. For example, what he also suggested, Prime Minister suggested to all of us, we can take the children to hills, historical places, farms, and safe manufacturing units. For example, if you want to teach about the guts or, about the hill area or about the mountains, trees, or plants or something, nature or animals, instead of showing that in the PowerPoint slide or the video or a kind of, the blackboard or a whiteboard or green board, let us take them to the spot and show them this is the living beings, the plants, the trees. So if you teach that way, these students, based on the activity and the field visits, they just grab it. They just know it. And to the historical places, and India is known for the historical places, ladies and gentlemen. And we have amazing places in India. So we can take our students to the historical places. Though there were bits and pieces we were doing as a tours, educational tours or picnics, this has to be a regular affair in the schools and colleges, that we need to take people to the historical places and show them, take them to the kingdoms wherever the kings lived, take them to the palaces, take them to the museums, the historical places. We have to take them and tell them the importance of those historical places. The farms, when we teach about agriculture, agriculture is one area, or agri-based industry is one area. We cannot teach using Blackboard, using PowerPoint, using LCD projectors. We have to take them to the farms, make people understand these farms, the cultivation, the harvesting, the power of harvesting, the soil fertility. So all those things, if you take them to the right field, we'll be able to make people understand. And safe manufacturing, in case if you want to show them the manufacturing process, which we do it in the colleges, in the MBA colleges, we take them to the industries, we take them to the companies where the process happens, the production process happens, the input, process, output. So what are the raw materials, how they collect raw materials, how they put those raw materials in the machineries, and how these machineries are processing those things, and then finally you take them to the final output. So this input, process, output, even if we give the the extraordinary simulation in the classroom, this will not serve the purpose. But take them to one particular unit. Say we'll take the case of Ooty is known for tea. So tea manufacturing. So we can teach the same tea manufacturing or tea, the processing in the classroom. We can say the green leaf is plucked by people, and then it is actually the industry collects it and then they process it, and finally you get the tea dust in different categories. Instead, let us take our people to the tea factory and just show them this is how it is getting processed. It is enough. They understand it beautifully. So we'll have to take people to different field visits is the emphasis from Prime Minister of India. Well, saying that, what is the vision of the National Education Policy 2020? The vision is the national education policy aims at building a global best education system rooted in Indian ethos and aligned with the principles enunciated above, thereby transforming India into a global knowledge superpower. So there can be a question, though we don't actually have an interactive session. I prefer to have it. But the global knowledge superpower, somebody can ask me a question that, are we not a superpower now? Are we not a great knowledge superpower now? Yes, we are. But compared to the developed countries, we have a long way to go. If you take the global university ranking or global university rating, we are yet to go ahead, yet to go for a far distance we have to travel. If you take the knowledge, Indian talents are most demanding talents. I can quote you a few examples. All of us know Microsoft is headed by an Indian called called Satya Nadella. Google is headed by an Indian. Google, not only Google, the parent company of Google called Alphabet is also headed by an Indian called Sundar Pichai. And taking it forward, IBM is headed by an Indian. McKinsey, a global conglomerate, is headed by an Indian. So Indian knowledge, Indian talent is most demanded talent in the world. There's no doubt at all. But what this vision says of new education policy, they say we should become a global knowledge superpower. In case if somebody is somewhere in France or US or Germany or Denmark or Sweden, if they think about some education, they should think about India. For example, if we take the engineering education, people say MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, is supposed to be number one. If we talk about the business education, Harvard Business School is supposed to be arguably number one. So like that, we have institutes, for benchmark for the quality of education. Now they are thinking, see, at par with that, we have Indian School of Business in Hyderabad. We have IIM Ahmedabad for management education. We have IITs in Delhi, Madras, and different places for engineering education. They are all benchmarking education, ladies and gentlemen, in India. There's no doubt. But what they are saying, overall, the education system has to transform. Overall, the education system has to go a sea change and see India as an educational hub. And we'll take the 21st education, the century, it is for youth. And we are enjoying the demographic dividend, as Nandan Nilekani of Infosys, the erstwhile chairman of Infosys, Nandan Nilekani, he said, we have the great demographic dividend. The demographic dividend in the sense, we have the youth population more than 50% in the country. So that is one of the biggest advantage, which Japan is not enjoying, which China is also not enjoying, but we are enjoying the youth population. I am sure out of so many participants in this session, most of them are young population, between 18 and 25 or 18 and 30. They're all young population, has got huge energy and efficiency. And this education system, I'm assuring you that after understanding and reading and examining this, as an educator, as a management educator, I feel this is going to bring a sea change, a dramatic change, an excellent change. So here, the Union Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji approved the National Education Policy on 2020, that is 29/7/2020. So it was approved, and the policy has come after 34 years replacing National Policy on Education 1986. I don't know, some of you have not even born those days. Though that was the time, 34 years back, there was a National Policy on Education, and now this has been replaced by the new education policy. Well, the policy is built on the foundational pillars. There are important pillars. This is very important. We'll have to understand clearly. Access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. So I wish to tell you that access. So what is this access? In Indian education system, even today we feel 100% of the Indian population or the Indian children get the school education. No, they don't get it. Why? The accessibility is not there. Why there is no accessibility? Because of the infrastructure, or because of the place where they live, or because of the financial constraints, or because of the transportation and other infrastructure, people do not get the opportunity to get the education. Now the new education policy says we are going to have the gross enrollment ratio 100%. School education I'm talking about. I'm not talking about higher education. School education, government is targeting by say 2035, we must have 100% literacy and numeracy. That means people should be able to read and able to know the numbers. The second thing is equity. Equal, all are equal. See, this is a democratic country. Come on. This the philosophy has to be like something like this. Whoever goes to the school, that is the one reason why schools are using uniforms. The people may come from different backgrounds. People may come from industry background, or some agrarian background, or from rich, poor, middle class background. Does not matter. The equity has to be maintained. The education system is going to maintain that equity and quality. How are they going to maintain quality? I'm going to come a little later. And affordability, we should be affordable to take up the education. You're saying quality, accessibility, equity, everything fine. But when I'm not affordable, why are you not affordable? Because some cases the financial affordability is not there. So when the financial affordability is not there, government is pitching in to help them with the scholarships. Government is pitching in to help them with the free ships. They are saying you take the education free of cost because you feel you are not affordable. That based on the income category and all. And accountability is all about the answerability. The school, colleges like you and me are answerable to this society. We are accountable. We have to produce good citizens. We have to produce responsible citizens. So accountability is other point. Well, this objective of this webinar, as government spells it out, that new education policy 2020 is not just a policy document. It is the aspirations of people. Hope you can understand that it is the aspirations of people. The crores and crores of people available in India, they want to give the best education, right? Everybody, any parent you go and ask today, you go and ask any parent in India, they are going to tell you one thing, across the length and breadth, without any variation, that I want to give good education to my kids. That's it. They may not have big ambitions of doing different things, but they will have one standard thing. They'll say that I want to give the best education to my kids. So that means education is such an important thing, is a backbone of the country. So this policy document is not government document, it is the aspirations of people. It's not only the policy of any government, it is the policy of people. And ownership of the policy is with all of us. Therefore, it is necessary to understand policy, disseminate to stakeholders. So the next few slides, I would like to discuss with you about the salient features of NEP. Firstly, focusing on school education. There will be people, most of them are college students, I know, in this gathering, but then some school children are also there, and the parents may also have joined, and they are interested to know what is the points for school education. Universal access to all levels with 100% GER by 2030. So GER is gross enrollment ratio. That means government is aiming at 100% gross enrollment ratio next 10 years. They want each and every kid in the country to get the education by 2030. So they will make the policy related to that. And about 2 crore out of school children will be brought back to the mainstream under NEP 2020. There are many people who do not afford education, who do not have that affordability come to the school. We are all privileged in that way, that we are affordable to go to the schools and colleges and learn. There are, some crores of people. You can easily see 2 crore out of the kids I'm talking about. They do not have that access to education, and government is putting all possible mechanisms and go no stone unturned to get all those people on board and try to give them the education. Well, early childhood care and education with new curricular and pedagogical structure, how are they going to change it? Guys, NEP gives emphasis on early childhood care and education. Now, the education system is like this, the 10+2 structure of school. We have all studied in the structure also, I think, all of us, most of us. 10+2, 10 plus 1 plus 2. And now, this is going to be replaced by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Meaning 5 years. How are they dividing? I'm going to show you. 5 years plus 3 years, 8, plus 3 years, 11, plus 4 years, 15 years of education they are suggesting for. What is this 15 years? Where are they taking this 3 years from? Where is this 3 years have come from? It is very simple. The division is here. Corresponding to the ages 3 to 8. So we will start our education from 3. What we are calling now the pre-nursery or LKG, UKG. It will be actually made as a part of our education system. And 3 to 8 is one period that people learn the basics. 8 years, I'm talking about 3 years to 8 years. 8 years to 11 years is other set, and 11 to 14, 14 to 18. So there will be 15 years of formal education to all of us instead of the 12 years education. Okay. And this will bring the hitherto uncovered age group of 3 to 6. But why? You may also wonder, why should we put this 3-year kid in a school? And 3 to 6 is the time to play. Yes, many people have, are under that impression that 3 to 6 is the age to play, enjoy the life. I agree with you, but then look at the next point. This is very crucial. This has been recognized globally as the crucial stage for development of mental faculties of a child. So 3 to 6 years is a period, the mental faculties, that means the brain power, the linguistics ability, the numeral ability, all those abilities, they develop in that age. Therefore, you have to start as early as possible as 3 years. We cannot wait. I still remember I started my education at 6. Most of us would have started at 6. That too, counting that number of days, and some of them are given, not qualified, and next year, 6.5 years, 7 years we have started. So that's not the right period actually. Actually, we have to start the education, the basic education at 3. So government has caught hold of that point, and the new system will have 12 years of schooling with 3 years of Anganwadi or preschooling. So 12 years, as I said, that 12 years education, 3 years preschooling will be there. And attaining foundational literacy and numeracy. Literacy is about letters. Numeracy is about numbers. See, if somebody is able to read the letters, somebody is able to write in the numbers and read the numbers, that means we have the literacy and numeracy. You can take our own, we all come from, most of us have come, are from the rural background. And I come from a village, I just said in the introduction, called Soragundu, Kethi. So we have 14 hamlets in Kethi. So this 14 hamlets, like that, there are thousands of hamlets in Ooty itself. And take Tamil Nadu and take India, I think the 50 to 60% is the rural crowd. So in this rural crowd, how many of our own parents and our own grandparents and our own previous generations have the literacy and numeracy across the length and breadth is a question mark. So we have to attain that, recognizing foundational literacy, that is prerequisite for learning. The National Mission on Foundational Literacy and Numeracy is going to be formed, and states will prepare an implementation plan. That means the states will be having more powers in deciding those, and by 2025, they're trying to have that literacy. And reforms in school curricula and pedagogy, how are they going to reform it? The school curricula pedagogy will aim for holistic development. That means overall development. Holistic is overall. Reduction in curricular content to enhance essential learning and critical thinking. This is one point. See, I work for a business school. I work for an MBA institute. So here we are talking a lot about essential learning and critical thinking. We make people think critically, do a lot of activities. But we cannot expect the same level of critical thinking activity at the school. But there are some, what you call these small experiments, the small games, activities, the activity-based learning, which we can take it to the school level. And there, we can make people think critically. We have to actually make people think critically. Otherwise, they will not question. What will happen is we will produce good candidates with say about 95% marks or 98% marks, but they will not question. They will just keep quiet. They will not talk. But that's not the aim of education system. The ultimate aim of education system is to make people talk, is to make people question, like our Prime Minister says, is to make people, ask things in the class. So if you ask the faculty who have joined here in this session, how many of your students are active in the class, they will say 20% or 30%. That means what? We have not given that training to the students to make them, capable of questioning the teacher in the class. We have to make those people capable enough to question teachers, not only teachers, question teachers, question parents, question siblings, question anybody for that matter. They should have that caliber, but that has to be logical and sensible, most importantly. So there will be no rigid separations, ladies and gentlemen, between arts and sciences. There were something like arts group, science group. It will be nothing like that hereafter. Everything will be like, combined. Between curricular and extracurricular, vocational and academic streams. How are they going to do it? I'll just show you an example. Vocational education will start from 6th grade. And the other debate is about linguism, that is called language, the power of language and multilingualism. So multilingualism is all about somebody knowing as many as languages possible. So let us make our people know as many as languages possible. If they know 4 languages, 5 languages, it is good. Hence, government is trying, at least till grade 5, the courses will be taught in mother tongue because they will understand it better. And Sanskrit to be offered at all the levels, and other classical languages like Tamil and other classical languages will also be offered, but no language will be imposed. Government is very clear. They are not imposing any language. They are not compelling anybody to learn. It is the choice. It is the option that they give it to us, and we can learn. Once the option is there, we can learn. Several foreign languages will also be offered. And the other important point is about people with a hearing impairment. Somebody who is not able to hear, they should also have that freedom of speech, no? So they will use that Indian Sign Language, ISL. That will be standardized across the country. The national and state curriculum materials will be developed for use of students with hearing impairment. So they're trying to cover the languages and the ISL also. The 6th point is about assessment reforms. This is very interesting. How our teachers taught or assessed us in the schools, it's very simple, that teachers will teach for an year, and at the end of the year, there will be an exam. Or in between, there will be like tests, term tests, and then halfly, quarterly exams and final exams. All those are called summative assessments. The summative assessments is like a sum of the exam performances. They will not have any critical thinking component at all. So government is trying to bring the formative assessment methodology. So formative assessment methodology is something like the continuous assessment takes place through quizzes, through assignments, through practical works, through field visits. It will actually make people think. Competency based, we call it as, promotes the learning and development, and higher order skills, it is required. Otherwise, higher order skill won't develop. What we do, we learn, read, write exams, get marks. That is called summative assessment. But here, government is trying to bring the new method of evaluation. The examination component will be there. Apart from that, they also trying to bring in quizzes, the critical thinking activities, field visits, the role plays, like that different methods are going to come. All students, it's an important point, all students will take school examinations in grades 3, 5, and 8, which will be conducted by the appropriate authority. So it will be like, not exactly like a public exam, but then by government will organize exam at grade 3, in the third grade, fifth grade, and eighth grade. And then board exams. Obviously, there is a question about board exams, that how will the board exam be conducted? Board exams for grades 10 and 12 will be continued, but redesigned with holistic development as aim. So there will be some structural changes by the authorities, but the board exams to continue, 10th and 12th board exams to continue. And this awareness also, that we should know equitable and inclusive education. So that is something like, no child loses any opportunity. It's very, very crucial point. If we live in a village where we have 100, 200 houses, we should ensure that no child loses any opportunity. Everybody should get the school education opportunity. Now it is quite open. Everybody is going to school, no doubt about it. But still, if we find somebody is not sending to the school, we should be, coming forward and enlightening them, creating awareness in them, and make them go to school. So for that, there is other important point all of us need to understand. That is a special emphasis. So special emphasis is special importance will be given on socially and economically disadvantaged groups. They are called SEDGs, which includes gender, socio-cultural, and geographical identities and disabilities. There are people from different gender, socio-cultural issues, or geographical identities. People do not have the identity of which area they belong to, or some refugees, people who have migrated from other places, and disabilities, people with special abilities. They all come under this SEDGs, and for that government is taking care and then giving a lot of new measures. And that is actually, they are going to set up a gender inclusion fund and special education zones also. Fine. The eighth point is about teachers. How are they going to get good teachers, quality teachers on board in the schools? That teachers will be recruited through robust and transparent process. It will be very clear. They will have an exam and interview process. It will be a very transparent process they want to bring in. Promotions will be merit-based, not based on the period. Multi-source periodic performance appraisals will be there, and available progression paths to become educational administrators. The teachers, once they do really well, they will be promoted to the administrator level, like headmaster of a school, principal of a school, like that they will be promoted based on their performance. And the next point is about accreditations and governance. Schools will also be accredited like colleges. See, the CSI college knows, and all of us know, the colleges, engineering colleges, arts and science colleges, management colleges, we have accreditation processes like NAC process is there, NBA process is there, the international accreditation agencies are there. But schools, they do not have very structured policies of accreditations. Government is going to bring that accreditation process. Like they are going to set up a board, and there will be a process like school quality assessment and accreditation framework, SQAAF, like that NIRF for the colleges, NBA for the colleges, NAC for the colleges. They are going to bring that SQAAF for schools also. And why? What is the benefit of it? Thereby we can ensure the quality of education, quality of documentation, quality of delivery. Okay. So far, I have covered about the school education and the reforms in the school education. Now, let me just throw some lights on higher education. Higher education is about collegiate education and higher. That means from degree, PG up to PhD. That is higher education. So what is the greatest, one of the greatest challenges in India on higher education is about gross enrollment ratio. So 2018 figure shows the GER was 26.3%. That means out of 100 students, if we take 100 students study 12th, only 26 students join college. So now you can calculate. So every 100, if you take every 100 students, only 26 students join college. Then what happens to that 74 students? They don't join college. They go to jobs, or they go to other business. They don't take higher education. So in India, they are trying to increase this gross enrollment ratio to 50% by 2035. That means 50 out of 100 will go to college. It is a phenomenal increase, I say you. I want to emphasize that this is going to be a phenomenal increase of 50 students of every 100 students will go to college. That means 500 out of 1,000, 5,000 out of 10,000, 50,000 out of 1 lakh, something like that. If you take 1 crore, 50 lakh people will go to college. It's a great number, actually, great number. So that means government projects there will be 3.5 crore new seats will be added in the colleges. That means more colleges will come, more seats will be offered, and government support will be there for that. But there are quality aspects also that we will come to that later. So more students will be enrolled in higher education. Point number 2, emphasis on choice of study by bringing in flexibility. So flexibility is, it will be a permanent mechanism. I'm telling you, curriculum will become flexible by allowing combinations like this. How? For example, math students can learn music. History student can learn painting. So what happens now? The math students is typically a science student, right? And now he learns music. Music is an art. Now there is no difference between science and art. A science students learning art, a history student learning painting. That means that mix and match, the permutations and combinations of the education is going to come in the future, and we are all going to witness that soon. Vocational education will be integrated with mainstream, the job-related jobs, education. Multiple entry and exit will be allowed with appropriate certification. This is an important and interesting point, just a second. See, so far, we have seen people join college, they discontinue in the first year, second year, but no use. Discontinued is discontinued. But now it is not like that. The UG education can be 3 or 4 years, right? Either it is 3 years or 4 years. But multiple exit options are there. If a student leaves the college after 1 year, he will be given a certificate. Okay? There will be a certificate for him. That certificate course on, say for example, BE mechanical, certificate on BE mechanical, or BCom, certificate, on commerce. Like that, there will be a certificate. Then 2 years, after 2 years, he leaves. So that means they are not going wasted actually. They will be given advanced diploma of after 2 years. There will be advanced diploma after 2 years. And what will actually happen, advanced diploma after 2 years when they learn, then obviously they are getting, one more certificate. Then third is bachelor degree after 3 years. In case a student leaves after 3 years, if it is a 4 years thing, degree, he'll be given bachelor's degree after 3 years. And if he learns for 4 years, then bachelor's with research after 4 years. So that's what the system is going to be. But what we have witnessed earlier, we would have seen our own siblings or our own friends that they were college discontinued. How are we calling them? He is discontinued from the college. He is a dropout from the college. But no longer that scenario is going to be there. And it is going to be like this, that after 1 year, your friend or a sister or brother comes out of a college, there will be a certificate. After 2 years, advanced diploma. After 3 years, degree. After 4 years, their bachelor's with research. And the other interesting point is about academic bank of credit. Now we can gather credits and put it in store, digital store. That facility is going to come in the future generation. That academic bank of credit is to be established for digitally storing academic credits. See, you may join 2-3 colleges also. That possibility is also there. And you gain credits from different colleges. You put it in that digital store. And when they calculate that, the credits, and they will see that, okay, he has completed so many credits, he can be given a diploma or he can be given degree. Like that, they will decide and give you. So that flexibility is also going to come. And then so that these can be transferred and counted towards degree earned for you. And there will be flexibility in master's degree also. This is important for the students. A lot of UG students are there in this session, I know. and then 2 years masters after 3 years. So if you have completed a 3 years degree, you have to do 2 years masters with UG, with a second year devoted to research. Obviously, the second year for research, because there is going to be a lot of, importance for research. And 1 year masters after 4 years bachelor's. And you can ask a question. I have done 4 years bachelor's. What will be the tenure for me for my PG? It will be 1 year. And integrated 5 years bachelor's plus masters is also there, is already there, and more of such courses will also come. So I'm just, reinforcing this point, as most of them are UG students. In the future, maybe from next year it will be implemented, that 2 years masters after 3 years UG with second year devoted to research. If you have done 4 years bachelor, your master's degree will be 1 year, and integrated 5 years bachelor's plus masters is also possible. And then the growth of large multidisciplinary institutions is also on the agenda of government. They're saying that higher education institutions will be transformed into large, well-resourced, vibrant campuses, providing high quality teaching, research, and community engagement, and trying to share the resources also among them. And there will be institutes like this, universities like this, research intensive universities, teaching intensive universities, autonomous degree granting colleges. The entire higher education system will divide like this. The research intensive universities will be there, and they will do more research only. They will do only research. And teaching intensive universities, they will do teaching. They will teach students. And autonomous degree colleges, they will be degree granting colleges. They may not have any affiliation with the colleges. And the government is planning to slowly phase out the affiliation system. So affiliation of colleges is to be phased out in 15 years. So next 15 years, we will not find any college associated or affiliated to one university. Now you say CSI college is affiliated to Anna University, but that may not be there after some time. You will be, an independent body awarding a degree. Stage-wise mechanism will be established for granting graded autonomy. And again, now everything based on quality. I was just telling you about that. They will give graded autonomy. And the fourth point, or the next interesting point, there are a lot of regulatory bodies in India in the education system. If you take, there is AICTE, there is UGC, and there are different bodies for regulation, funding, everything. But now there is going to be one body called CSICE, Higher Education Commission of India. I repeat, Higher Education Commission of India is going to be the supreme authority which will control the entire higher education system in the country. But are they going to control alone? No. There are four subsystems under this umbrella body called HECI, like National Higher Education Regulatory Council, NHERC. This is only for regulation. They will regulate, pass on the rules and regulations. General Education Council, GEC, that's for standard setting. They will set standard, academic institution, what standard they have to operate and what level they have to operate, they will set. And Higher Education Grants Council, this is only for funding. HEGC is for funding. When we apply for research funding and all, this will take care. And National Accreditation Council, NAC for accreditation. All those accreditation agencies will be clubbed, and there will be one accreditation council called NAC, National Accreditation Council. So that is about the higher education system accreditation and the regulation process. And the next thing is about promoting a culture of research. Government is interested to create institutes at par with IITs and IIMs, and they are planning to bring something called MERU, MERU institutes. That's called Multidisciplinary Education and Research Universities. So these MERUs or MERUs will be developed, built at par with Indian Institute of Technologies and Indian Institute of Management. So that means it is a topmost institute in the country. So we have IITs, IIMs, IIScs. Like that, this MERUs will come. And what's the role of MERU? It is completely devoted for research. So that is about promotion. And they talk about the faculty also, that motivated, energized, and capable faculty. They want to have good faculty for higher education. So here this NEP makes recommendations for motivating, energizing, and building capacity for faculty, and giving faculty freedom to design curricula, pedagogy, and incentivize excellence. Not all faculty have this autonomy to design curricula or pedagogy, because we are, in case if you are governed by a university, we have to follow the university pattern only. But here the NEP, National Education Policy, is going to give us the autonomy to design curriculum and pedagogy. Facilitating movement of faculty into institutional leadership. Why faculty in the faculty level only? If they excel really well, they will be moved up in the ladder of becoming an HOD of a department, principal of a college, like that. Faculty not delivering on basic norms will be held accountable. In case if they don't do well, then they will be held accountable for their role. Then the teacher education, they are going to make B.Ed compulsory for all, and it is going to be something like this. That next 2030, the minimum degree qualification for teaching will be 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. That now it is like 3-year degree, 1-year B.Ed, but it is going to be like 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. So that's how they are planning for teacher education. And mentoring mission, a national mission for mentoring will be established. How are they going to do that? With a large pool of outstanding senior and retired faculty. So there are senior and retired faculty available in India, and they are going to bring a kind of a pooling of all retired and senior faculty members, and they are going to request them to mentor the new and young faculty members, and who would be willing to provide short and long-term mentoring sessions to the college and university teachers. And the 8th point in higher education is about financial support for students. How government is going to fund the students, especially the efforts will be made to incentivize the merit students belonging to SC, ST, OBC, and other socio-economically disadvantaged groups, SETGs. This we have just seen in the previous slide. The National Scholarship Portal will be expanded to support, foster, and track the progress of students receiving scholarships. And private HEIs, higher education institutions, will be encouraged to offer large number of free ships and scholarships to the students. So they will be encouraged, the institution like us and you will be encouraged to give as many as scholarships and free ships to the students, so that those disadvantaged groups will join the institute and they will gain the degree from the colleges. The 9th is about open and distance learning. This will be expanded to play a significant role in increasing GER, again the gross enrollment ratio. I said school education 100% gross enrollment ratio, the higher education 50% gross enrollment ratio is the target. So this will help actually to enhance that. Measures such as online courses and digital repositories, funding, and credit-based recognition for MOOCs. All of us know these days this massive open online courses are very popular, especially during this COVID times. The courses from Swayam, courses from Coursera, courses from edX, courses from Khan Academy. So all those courses, I've given you only a few examples, but there are a lot of courses available, and they will also be getting the credits. If you complete a course from MOOC platform and produce that certificate, you will be given some credit for that. So that will also be integrated into the system of education. And government is also firm about online education and digital education. 2 points I would like to highlight for this, as Prime Minister says, a comprehensive set of recommendations made for promoting online education in order to ensure preparedness with alternative modes of quality education where traditional and in-person modes of education are not possible, trying to bring as much as possible. Government is trying to set up the dedicated unit for purpose of building digital infrastructure, digital content, and capacity building will be created in the ministry to look after the e-education needs for both schools and higher education. So there will be kind of a portfolio created, and then the ministry will look after this the e-education, that is the electronic education. And technology in education is going to play a vital role. All of us know this NETF, that is National Educational Technology Forum, which is an autonomous body that will be created by the government now to provide a platform for free exchange of ideas of use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, administration, appropriate integration of technology, and to improve classroom process. It's important. Now we have felt the heat of the online presence. COVID, suddenly this global pandemic has put all of us into the corner, and we are pushed to take up the online classes. All of us, invariably, I'm not demarcating the school and higher education. Invariably, across the length and breadth, we have executed this education, online education. We are using different platform. We are using MS platform. I am now using Zoom platform for this. There are different platforms are being used to do the online education. So this is going to be the trend. For future, it is going to be a blended learning, like online and offline, the hybrid education otherwise. And the promotion of Indian languages, this is emphasized by the government. Prime Minister also says no language is imposed, but then there will be options to learn languages. To ensure the preservation, growth, and vibrancy of all Indian languages, the National Education Policy recommends setting an institute, exclusive institute called Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation, IITI. This is again a benchmarking institute in India, going to be Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation to promote Indian languages. And National Institute again will be set up, especially to develop Pali, Persian, and Prakrit languages. They're all the traditional languages, they have to be protected, and strengthening of Sanskrit and language departments in HEIs. All languages, all the languages in India, whatever departments we have across the country, they will also be protected with the help of this. NEP also recommends use of mother tongue and local language as a medium of instruction. To the extent possible, they are only recommending. This is not actually binding, but they're recommending if possible, we can use the mother tongue in that. And the last 2 points are internationalization of education, bringing international touch to the education. How are we going to bring? Very interesting point, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Will be facilitated through both institutional collaborations and student faculty mobility, allowing entry of top world ranked universities to open campuses in the country. India is going to soon witness top global university campuses. Days are not far. Government has already given a nod, and we can have a lot of global universities coming and setting up their centers in India. And not only that, they are encouraging the top universities to go abroad and start campuses. This is actually the internationalization effort from the country. Government is particular about bringing in foreign universities to India and Indian universities abroad. So that will be there. That's a global theme in education. But the mission, in the vision statement, I said, without compromising the Indian ethos. That's what the Prime Minister insists, and that will be taken care at the policy level. And professional education is also an interesting thing, that all professional education will be an integral part of higher education system, and standalone technical universities, health science, and legal agriculture universities will aim to become multidisciplinary institutions. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to give the old Chinese proverb and close this session. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a life. And this Chinese proverb gives us the real meaning of education in India. And again, want to just summarize the note from Prime Minister of India to all of us, that the education will make all of us question. So if we question, that will make us think out of the box. If we think out of the box, we grow. If we grow, our country grows. If our country grows, this will prosper the planet. These words, lines from Prime Minister of India, is very crucial to take up this NAP, with all letter and spirit. And I sincerely request all the participants of this particular program to take these messages of Prime Minister and the new education policy to the extent possible to your own community of people, and try to help reach as many as people possible through this webinars organized by people. So with this, I would like to close my session as planned. We could complete it. And I thank the organizer, CSI College of Engineering, Katie, the Nilgiris. Once again, I want to, insist and reinforce what I said initially. This is the place I was born and raised. Keti Soragundu is the place I was born and raised. And now I'm settled in Mysore, working for SDM IMD, standalone top-ranked business school in India. But I always feel something giving back to our own community, our own society, our own people is great. So I feel privileged, humbled, and great, rewarding to talk to people who belong to my own place. And thanks a lot to Mr. Pradap, my good friend, and Mr. Dominic Xavier, and many thanks to all of you.
And thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Professor. On behalf of the management, correspondent, principal, and the students participants from NSS and NCC and also Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, and accepting our invitation and spent time with us and giving much information on this new educational policy. And thank you, Professor.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
And finally, conduct our college management for conducting this wonderful program. And again, just a request to all the participants, and please share this information to as many as possible. And also please send us your feedback on the program, and also with the new education policy. For NSS students, you can send it to me directly. And for the NCC students, please send your feedback to Dominic sir itself. And thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.